So, Flames time. Spencer Fu. He's a native of Edmonton. Born January 1st, 1994. Stands 6 foot tall. Weighs approximately 185 pounds. And he was an NCAA free agent. Calgary got him. 2-year deal. Entry-level contract. $925,000 cap hit. So, here's the thing. And I realize I've picked up a lot of subscribers over the last couple of months. So I'm going to get this out of the way. NCAA free agents, I don't pay a lot of attention. And I don't pay a lot of attention not because I have anything against the NCAA, it's this. So, Spencer Fu is 23 years of age. He's 5 years older than most of the guys you just saw get drafted. The reason that teams fight over these prospects, fight to sign them, it's an entry-level contract. You already know what you're getting. So he's already matured. You already know his size. You already know his strengths and weaknesses. You know how he is as a player. It's Jimmy Vesey, basically. An older version of Jimmy Vesey, actually. And the difference is he's not as highly touted as Jimmy Vesey was before he went to the Rangers. And while Vesey had a decent rookie season, it wasn't fantastic, and he wasn't exactly in the race for the Calder. I don't anticipate Spencer Fu being any different. And I say that because this is just the latest in a long line of NCAA free agents, and sometimes they work out. Sometimes you get a Tyler Bozak out of it, and sometimes you get a Christian Hansen. Sometimes you get a Matt Gilroy. You know, yeah, you get your Jake Gardner and your Justin Schultz, but sometimes you get Matt Gilroy. It is a crapshoot with any prospect. Until a guy's played in the NHL, you just don't know how he's going to play. Even if he's played in the American League, you don't necessarily know if he's going to be a top NHL player. And that's forwards, defensemen, goalies, all of them. Some players put up terrible AHL stats, come up to the NHL, and they're really good. Some players are great in the American League, can't play in the NHL. Bewildering, befuddling, and strange. But it's part of hockey. Now, in the case of Spencer Fu, his point totals went from meandering last year, and by NCAA standards, they were good. So I'm not trying to downplay him. And this year, they more than doubled. I've got them loaded up here. He went, with Union College, he went from 25 points in 36 games to 62 points in 38 games. 26 of those points were goals. He had a great season. And if you're going to have a great season, do it right before, the teams are going to be bidding on you as an NCAA free agent. It was his third year at Union College. He played midget AA in Edmonton, played for the Bonnyville Pontiacs in the American Junior League. He's got all the markings of a folk hero, of a guy that a team is going to look at 5 years from now and say, oh, we're really glad we got him. I look at Calgary, I look at their offense, and I say, okay, so they may need a little bit of help and a little bit of help and a little bit of depth, but what does this guy do for them? I mean, we're not expecting point of game stats in Calgary, obviously. So for me, I don't even know if I'll pencil him into their lineup. I mean, once July 1st passes by and free agency's done, that's when I take the board. Last year, I just had them all wrote on a piece of paper. I'll take the board, I'll figure out who the top 12 forwards are, the top 7 defensemen, the top 2 goalies, and say, here's likely your team. Actually, I'll go 13 or 14 forwards deep and say, here's likely your team. I don't know that Fu pencils into the roster for Calgary. I'll have to wait till after free agency. I'll have to wait and see what they do. I'll have to wait and see if there's any kind of a trade that takes place. Here's the thing. It's a free contract. It's a free prospect. You don't turn down free prospects. And you're going to have a bidding war because it's a prospect on an entry-level contract, and those are gold in today's NHL. And if it doesn't work out, all right, well, then he's gone in 2 years. He's got a 2-year entry-level deal, and then he's free to go wherever he wants. Personally, it's really hard to quantify it, because for every NCAA star that's been signed as a free agent that you can look at and say, oh, he became a really good NHLer, we could probably point out 3 or 4 that haven't. And yes, the draft is much the same way. I know there's been people, for instance, with draft picks going to Vegas defending that and saying, well, Vegas is stocking up for the future. Draft picks are a crapshoot after a certain round, and I intend to start kind of looking into that over the next week or so. But for today, Spencer Fu, Calgary, it's a good signing for Calgary because, as I said, you don't have to worry about the cap. You can send him down. You don't have to keep him with your team. You can send him to the American League if he's not ready. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, at least to start the season, he starts in the American League. Guys who go from college straight to NHL, it happens. But, heck, I remember in Vancouver, Michael Zalewski signed as a free agent. And he played the last few games of the season, and there was a lot of talk about, oh, he'll be fourth line for the Canucks, and it's never really happened. You have to remember that, there are 50 contracts. This would have been a good signing for Edmonton too. It would have been a good signing for Detroit because it's cheap. And you can send him to the American League. So there's that. I'm not going to project what kind of player he is. If you want to in the comments below, you can. And if you want to come back a year from now and say, I said he was a top 6 forward, I was right, he scored X amount of points in the NHL, hockey guy's wrong, fine. I'm not going to go out on a limb and make any prediction, as I said, because to me, it's a roll of the dice with these guys. And there's no telling who's going to be good out of the NCAA and who's going to be the next. Well, it was nice to see him get a cup of coffee in the NHL, but he's never coming back type player. So you guys can let me know what you think. It has to be, it's a good thing for Calgary fans, but again, I don't think Edmonton fans are going to lose sleep over not getting him. He's an Edmonton native. It would have been a good story to get him. But it's not going to break him. It's not like Connor McDavid sitting there somewhere going, I'm not moving off this $14 million. I want a Spencer Fu, and now I'm not moving. You can tell them I'm getting league maximum. I may just walk because we didn't get Spencer Fu. That's not happening. So, is he going to be ahead of Sam Bennett on the depth chart? No. Monahan? No. Backlund? No. Goudreau? Absolutely not. Tkachuk? No. I mean, there are a lot of good players in Calgary. They were a playoff team this past season, and they're adding. And they're clearly going to be active in the offseason. And this is just another step in them being active. If you're a young kid and you want to catch on with a team that could be up and coming and could have a space for you soon, Calgary makes sense. Because Calgary's depth is a little touch and go. I think Edmonton's depth is fine. So I understand him picking Calgary over Edmonton if he says that was his reasoning, publicly or privately. I agree with him. I think if you're going to look at, say, I'm a rookie, I want to join the team I have a better shot at cracking the roster with, right now, it's Calgary. Any year before this, it's Edmonton. Right now, it's Calgary. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And thank you so much for watching. I'm definitely going to be talking to you guys again before the end of the night.